Okay, so we just got done kind of our initial evaluation period. Now that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So a lot of people, when their dog jumps up on the baby gate like this is when they let him out. So go ahead now, open her door and let her out. So just simply asking the dog, and leave it open, we're going to have to put her back in and out a couple times. So when you go to the gate, if she's jumping up on the gate, don't pet her. As soon as she sits down, start petting her. Or if you want to let her out, as soon as she sits down, that's when we open the door. Now, what I'm going to have you do now, Charlie, let's go ahead and close the door. Here's a treat for you, sweetheart. Oh, yes, what a pretty dog you are, Charlie. All right.
And she dribbled.
Dribble a little bit. Okay. So we'll kind of put that off to the side. I will clean that up here as I grab a paper towel. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do, and so this is, like I mentioned earlier, a good idea to make sure that we empty our dog. If we have a dog with excited urination, that we empty the dog's bladder before we do any of these sort of things. Is there a trash can right there? There we go. Okay. So call her over.
Charlie, come here.
Now that's a good example of what is her word.
Oh.
Come here. So you said Charlie, come here.
Yeah.
So we just want to say Charlie or come, or not Charlie, I would just say come or here or whatever your command word is.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good, she's manding for me. Good girl. All right, so when she comes to you, you're going to ask her to sit. And as soon as she sits, you're going to reach over for the gate. And you're going to open it just like an inch.
Okay.
If she gets up, you want to close the gate. Don't let her get through. We don't want to pinch anything. And as soon as she sits down, then you're going to open the gate another inch. And then if she stays there, so we want to get her accustomed to waiting. So go ahead and start to open it.
Okay.
Open it an inch. And just wait. Open it. And say come.
Come. Good girl.
Now instead of saying good girl, just come.
Come.
Now what I would have you do is the same exercise, but in the future, when you open it an inch. And if she gets up, wait for her to sit down. When she sits down, then you wait 2 seconds, and then open the gate.
Okay.
Now, the rest about as wide as it is now, like about 8 inches. She starts to come forward, close it.
Okay.
And the idea, we want her to wait a good solid 2 seconds. Then we're going to, when she stays sitting for 2 seconds, then we're going to open the gate wider, wait for another 2 seconds, then give her the come command.
Okay.
Now, after we've done this for a couple times where she goes and sits there, then you can give her, I usually go like, wait, and I pull it back, and then I wait 2 seconds, and then I say, here, with the treat. So we want her to understand, like I talked about earlier, adding a little bit of structure to day-to-day things goes a long way. So if every time you let her out of here, she understands just because the door opens doesn't mean I have permission to run out. I have to wait for the command to come. And there's nothing but air between me and freedom. Mm-hmm. So I'm the one developing control as a dog, and I have to wait for the human to give me the command. It's a very simple way to do this, but you're going to let her in or out of this door hundreds, probably thousands of times before she gets old enough where you don't have to put her in here. Yeah. So if you get to the point where you can open the door, then go in the kitchen, wash your hands, start defrosting a chicken or whatever it is, and then you say, Charlie, here, and then she comes out. Oh man, that's a lot of control. And it's something that's so easy because you spend so little time doing it. You spend an extra 4 seconds letting her out of the kennel, out of the playpen every day. Okay. You do the same thing when you get to the kennel. So you eventually, when you open it, I open it like, and she starts to come out, and then you close it. She sits down, then I open it again, close it as soon as she tries to get up. Open it again, and eventually she just stays there, waits for you to give her the recall command. So for me, wait means wait until I call you. Stay means stay until I give you the release word. Now that's way beyond her training. She's only 14 weeks, but I like to have that distinction. So if it's something that's just temporary, wait. Get to somewhere you're gonna in your car. She gets excited, tell her wait, then you attach the leash, then you open the door, then you say come, and she stays in her seat until you call her to come to the door. One last thing, completely off subject. This is what's known as a rawhide. These are, I learned recently that there's a lot of chemicals used to give this bleached look. Usually they are not bleached like this, and there's some dye on this, you can see right here. They have some like these, they're the same property, but they're not washed with all the chemicals. I learned about this at the Green Spot, so I'd ask them for those that are not. The other thing that's a problem with this, they'll chew this end off and this end off, and they'll have this other piece. It's round. It's about the same shape as their digestive tract. Typically what they do is they'll get this wet, and they can chew on it, and then they'll tear off little pieces and swallow. It's okay in little pieces. But when they get to the end, they have an impetus or a desire to want to swallow and ingest. So this part might be wet, this part might be hard, and because it's the same shape of the digestive tract, can get caught in their esophagus.
Ugh.
So these I'm not a big fan of because
Okay.
I've heard about problems. Now some dogs can have them without any problem, and not every dog has them. But for puppies, I would rather get a cow's ear or a chicken foot or something like that.
Okay.
All right. Good job, Charlie.